Etc. in Cape. Nice turnout today, and we still have a seat for you, though. If you haven't made lunch plans, we invite you to join us right here at Wings Etc., where they've got their revamped burger lineup. If you have not checked out their menu lately, you'll definitely want to do that. Of course, they've got their award-winning jumbo wings for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery with DoorDash. But the brand new, freshly made burger menu, they have wraps, subs, quesadillas, entree salads, smoked ribs, and their appetizer lineup includes their ultimate nachos, their spicy deep-fried pickle chips, and if you're coming for lunch, their lunch specials start at just $9.49. And again, the new option, DoorDash, you just download the app, set it up, take a couple of minutes, and you can actually get it delivered wherever you are. It is Wings Etc., home of the Coaches Show. Good food, great times. And we're going to be talking Red Hawks football with the head coach, Tom Matukowicz. Nose guard London Manuel is here. We'll get a chance to talk with him a little bit later on, but let's welcome in Red Hawks head coach Tom Matukowicz. Coach, how are things?
Good. Enjoying this, finally some fall weather. I don't know about you, but it was pretty warm Saturday, and our players were in a big battle, and just thankful for some of this cool weather that's come our way. You know, football's hard and tough, but it's really hard and tough when it's in the high 80s. It's
interesting because I go to work at 4 a.m., and on Friday, we're the Jackson Cape Central football game, and I walked out to my car going to work, and I smelled fall. For the first time this year, I smelled football. That's what football smells like to me. And then it went from, that kind of weather Friday night to a baker on Saturday.
No doubt, but what a great fan turnout. There was just a good buzz around the university and family weekend and all that. And it was good to see parents reunite with their kiddos and stuff like that. So just a great weekend.
What I also love now is it's getting a little tougher to get a ticket to a SEMO football game.
So it was sold out, and I know those guys are doing a great job, administration, of handling all the challenges through that, but certainly had great atmosphere, which for half a side's tough to do, right? But I certainly felt the energy.
And you were on fire on Saturday. Yeah. We actually had a fire as we're doing the games. We've got 9 camera shots when we're broadcasting the games, and one of the cameras was just dedicated to the fire for a while, so we were able to keep track of it. When did it come to your attention? Because I know you're hyper-focused on the game.
Well, it's reality TV at its best, right? I'm sure no one's clicking off once the fire started, but I saw smoke, and I was like, well, that's not good. But I wasn't concerned, but there's that fence there.
Right.
Then all of a sudden I saw a flame at the top of the fence, and I was like, we're in trouble. But I knew obviously that was dirt and rock just there, so I'm sure it wasn't going to last long. But Joe Hobbs, I think it was Joe Hobbs and Spear saved the day. He didn't pour any beer out. He wasn't going to waste any beer on it.
Yeah.
So I think they had some hydration water that he donated to putting the fire out for the good of the cause.
One thing we did see when your team was going across the street at halftime, Hobbs was there going for the high fives.
Yeah, that's one good thing about the reshuffling of how everything went. Now we get to interact with more fans. And I know our players appreciate that. And I think once it gets going here, I think the fans in the end zones and all that will appreciate that. And there's a giant, kegger right outside our locker room, too. So some dude was really into the game. He came up to me, and I thought I almost put my hands up, but he just had too much to drink and was excited. So, no. I mean, it's college atmosphere, and just super appreciative of all the support.
And for those who don't know, the fire, they light off fireworks when the Red Hawks score, and I think it just.
I didn't know that. My wife said, man, I haven't seen a firework ever.
You don't hear them?
I've never, and I was like, how long have they been doing it?
Several years. The guy that does the fireworks. He and his wife actually email us during the football game, so we give him a shout-out.
So when do they do fireworks?
When you score.
When we score?
Yeah.
Damn, My wife says I'm not very aware of things in life, and she might be right.
Well, I can imagine, though, a head coach on game day, the last thing you're thinking about, did I hear a firework, man? You're hyper-focused on the game.
But anyway, I was surprised that we had fireworks, but I'm just glad we got it put out.
Redhawks win it 35-27 over a solid Central Arkansas Bears program. So that's 3 games now. The last 3 games, it's 34 points. It's 42 against Nichols. It's 35 against Central Arkansas. In fact, you had 28 points at halftime. Nothing wrong with your offense.
Yeah, no, we, and the thing about that is, 14 of that wasn't from the offense.
Right.
So it's a little misleading. But certainly offensively, we are who we thought we were, which is a pretty good unit, and they showed up again. And it was one of those games, and I'd be interested to see what everybody else thought. It was highly entertaining unless you were coaching in it. Because if you're coaching in it, you're wanting to harm yourself several times. The 2 bad turnovers, was uncharacteristic of our team, and and that's where I think the turnover margin is a reflection of the head coach. And I apologize to the team, and I need to do a better job because, we're -1 on the year. I mean, we should be +5. And so, and that's a team thing, not just an offensive thing. That's a team thing, and we got to do a better job there.
On the interception, I saw the replay a couple of times. I couldn't figure out who he was throwing to. He had an underneath receiver and then a receiver further out near the sideline, I think Flournoy, and it fell in between both of them. I really don't know who he was throwing the ball to. The kid made a good play to intercept it.
Yeah, and I don't think he did either.
Okay.
So it's one of those, you just move on.
And the other turnover, just trying to probably do a little too much. He tried to pitch it to, of all people, a tight end, and he probably should have eaten it. But sometimes you always want to make a play, and that was a big play for Central Arkansas because they picked it up. They got a good bounce on that football, and he went 85 yards. But those were only 2 things that really jump out at you as far as the offense goes. But how about the way you scored your first touchdown? Just smoking the Bears quarterback, and the football is rolling loose, and we've got a guy with a nose for the football, and there he was, Bryce Norman, his first college touchdown.
No, it was awesome. And Henry Pickens is a freshman corner that we didn't think he was going to play this year. We were going to redshirt him, but we've had so many injuries, and he was one we didn't know, what it would be like, and for him to step up for his teammates and make such a big play was just so huge. I'm so happy for him. And
I honestly, I'm surprised the quarterback got up
he hit
pretty quickly. He smoked him. Yeah.
And then he was rattled a little bit through the game. Like any pressure bothered him. If we dropped 8 or just rushed 4, he was a lot more comfortable towards the end of the game. But that was the play of the game. I mean, that was a huge, huge play.
Because you had gotten in the red zone. You get in the red zone and you line up for a field goal. I know you would have liked to have had a touchdown on that possession. You line up for a field goal. When did you decide, okay, we're going to fake it?
I've been wanting to run a fake for a while. And so
is the play for him to run or throw on that situation?
It was to run it.
Okay.
We're going to throw it to him, and it didn't work. And, that was really the problem is we got a bunch of yards. We drove the football, but there was 3 red zone opportunities that we got nothing. One was on me, and so we just got to learn from those. But at the same time, man, we got to be aggressive, and we can't just play hesitant and stuff like that. We need to keep people on their toes. Like when you play the Redhawks, you better be ready special team-wise.
So you score first with a defensive touchdown, and then they run a trick play. It's a double pass. And their running back, Kylan James, who's a good football player. I mean, he made some plays for them, especially receiving the football. He throws a pass to Gerard Barnes, 80 yards, and just like that, the game is tied on a trick play.
Yeah, and that's the disappointing thing. And I think defensively, that's our next step because we got to make people earn it. Like we gave them a play that they shouldn't have got. We had the perfect call, but, they duped us, and we got to get better at not being duped. You got to make people drive it. If we can make people drive it, we'll outscore them, But if we just give them 80 yards like that, that's the recipe to get beat. That's what I told our team. Like, at the end of the day, the biggest threat to SEMO football is SEMO. Like, we have to not turn the ball over. We have to make them drive the football. We can't just give up chunk yardage like that, and that's the recipe to get beat. But our team always responded well. That's one thing that I've learned about this team is they're really mentally tough. They're not going to get, frazzled and all of a sudden freak out on the sideline or anything like that. Like, as bad as some of those plays were, it was just a real steady sideline.
So after the failed pitch that they took 85 yards, they've got the lead in the football game, 14-7, and then, boy, your response was awesome, and that's exactly what you're talking about. You take the ball right down the field, 62-yard pass to Ryan Flournoy, and all of a sudden it's a tie football game. No. You got a big play of your own.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it's how life works. Like, Paxton had a really bad play, but you got to move on, right? You got to respond, and that's what he did, and got our receivers in it, made a big play, and just kind of the storyline of the day.
And so then you take the lead in the football game on a 14-yard pass to Johnny King, and he didn't look to be very open in the left corner of the end zone. There were two defenders there. That was a great throw and catch to give you the lead.
Yeah, Johnny continues to be an elite receiver, and I think he's got a great chance to play on Sundays, but he's really humble, and he's hungry, and he's keeps working his craft. And I know he kind of had a bad drop on a third down, but really, one of his most complete games so far.
And one right near the sideline. He was like the 3-yard line, I think. If he hauls that in,
that was third down.
Yeah, you're gonna spread the score out even further. They get a field goal before halftime, and then what I thought was the momentum shifter of the day. You got 1:15 left in the first half, and Dalen McDonald returns a ball from the 3-yard line. He goes 97 yards. I thought that was a demoralizing touchdown for Central Arkansas.
No, absolutely. And that's what we need to be able to do. We need to have a team win, and score on offense, score on defense, and score in a kicking game. Like, how many times does that happen?
Not very.
And so that was huge, and we have been underperforming in special teams a little bit compared to what I believe our talent level was. And Dalen's an impact player, and takes a lot to go. Central Ark had been a little spotty on coverage. They gave up a touchdown to Missouri State, and then they had a long run against them up at Idaho State. So we thought we could get some. We wanted to be aggressive. Normally, if it's anywhere around the goal line, I'd shut them down, but we let them be a little more aggressive, and it paid off.
And I think some fans that were at the stadium or were watching the game, a couple of times McDonald was goal line or in his end zone and brought it out.
Yeah.
That was specifically designed by you because you thought they were vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly. And the kicker's pretty good. Like, he had a bunch of touchbacks, and we knew that, we were going to have to take it out to be able to accomplish something. But that's trust. I trusted these other 10 guys that were going to block for McDonald, and then him doing what he does well.
And once he got by the first line, I mean, I know coaches can see the future sometimes. You see the game differently than a fan sitting in the seat. When did you know, they're not going to catch it?
About 40-yard line, I knew he was out. And there was a guy there, but I knew.
He had an angle.
Yeah, he's got the home run gear. But, people don't understand how much slower you are carrying a football. Like, if you go to the Olympics and you take the fastest guy and make him grab a football, he'll finish last. Like, you don't really realize how much that slows people down. So he's a lot faster than the guy that was chasing him, because he also had to do it, with a football in his hand.
And, oh, by the way, he's starting to see a little more time at wide receiver. He's got a chance to impact the offense as well.
Yeah, he's still underdeveloped and just now learning the position at wide receiver. He's a high school quarterback, and then in junior college they just, basically gave him the football. And so now he's learning how to build skill how to route run, how to block, all the things that it needs to be a Division I football player.
So third quarter, they get a 38-yard field goal. They pull to within one score. It's 28-20. And then to start the fourth quarter, you take the football 12 plays, 61 yards. Paxton DeLaurent with a gutsy run into the end zone. In fact, how hard was that run? It knocked his helmet off of his head. I mean, that was a terrific run for a touchdown.
No, it was. And, you can't – how do you not love that guy? He was in the ER Saturday night.
Really?
He had an allergic reaction to some steroid or something, and and that's how life is. You make some bad decisions, you get blown up, you get all this stuff, and then you just keep coming and you make a play like that. That was third down, like total difference in the game, and he was so pumped. And I got to tell him, keep his helmet on. He hadn't really shown that kind of emotion, and so
first time I've seen him show that kind of emotion.
We just got to make sure we don't get a stupid penalty out of it. But I tell you, man, I love that guy. I love how he competes, and he's just everything I want in a football player, man. He's just tough and talented.
The more you see him, I know it was COVID-related circumstances where coaches couldn't get on the recruiting trail and go watch guys. But the more that you're around him, do you just think, how did nobody recruit this guy?
Yeah, you're surprised, but you're just thankful. I'm thankful that I get to coach him, and I'm thankful that he likes it here. He likes his teammates. He's found home. His parents like coming over here. It's been a good start to this relationship.
Boy, I tell you, during his time as an elite running back, Geno Hess has wound down clocks for you in the fourth quarter of football games, and Saturday was no exception. He finishes with 123 yards, did not get into the end zone, but I'm sure that did not bother Geno Hess. Some of those runs that he made in the second half of the game, Coach, he just would not go down, and the longer he stayed upright, the more time it gave offensive linemen to get in there. One time Paxton got in there and was pushing him. How hard were those runs from Geno Hess Saturday?
Yeah, he definitely had an unbelievable mindset going in that game. You could just tell he was going to run determined, and did. And he inspired the whole team. In the fourth quarter when I brought Abby up, I said, play like him. Everybody needs to take their game to what he's doing right now. And I don't give compliments out. Like, you get one from me, buddy. You've earned it. And so he has my respect, and love how he's preparing right now and his mindset. And we're going to need him again this week.
It has a little something potentially to do with the coaches show. We had Paxton on. He had a 300-yard game. We have Geno on. He runs for 123. Expect something big from London Manuel here coming up soon.
No, the show has nothing to do with it, but their preparation does.
How about running the clock out on them? They just they weren't going to get the football back. Not with your offensive line.
Yeah, I loved how we ended it because they got the ball, and the defense had to get a stop. Right, we stopped them. They punted it, and they never got the ball back. And we've been able to finish the last two games out like that, which is, we talk about a lot of value of a yard. And are you going to compete for a yard? Are you going to let them push you back? Those type of things. And to end it on 3rd and 1 and picking up a yard that everybody knows we're giving it to him and it's going right there, and we still got it. That's the best feeling ever. And so super happy for that.
And you got the tight end involved a little bit here.
Yeah.
Will Whiteman, I'm not sure if he's ever been more wide open on a pass route in his life.
No, he had some nice catches and tried to do something with it too, and continue to get a lot of those guys in the passing game. Danny's also a nice pass catcher, so the offense is doing a good job spreading it around.
And now you're running options with Danny Joyner.
Yeah.
And as far as your punting game goes, what a weapon Zach Haynes is. I mean, he was pinning them all, and boy, there was one that got into the end zone, and you were so close to downing that ball at about the 1 or the 2 yard line.
It was right there.
But that is such a weapon. People sometimes discount what punters
we take
can
it for
bring.
granted too. that he should be perfect. We're mad if it's at the 5. That's how good he is. And so
that is a real skill, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And our punt team's done a really nice job. And Tim Billings is our punt coach, and he's done a nice job. And they're not out there much, which is even better. But when they're out there, they've made quite a few big plays for the football team.
Well, Billings knows a little bit about punters. He had an All-American when he was a coach here named David Simonoff. I mean, he's got all the school records in punting. So, he's had a little experience in that area. So Paxton DeLaurent, Coach, it was not his best game of the year, but his off game compared to what he had done in back-to-back weeks, still good enough to win OVC Newcomer of the Week for a third consecutive week.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
When did that come out?
Yesterday.
Oh.
And Dalen McDonald is obviously the specialist of the week with his big return.
It's great. Yeah. I mean, good for them. And all those awards are team awards.
Sure.
If you lose those games, you don't become player of the weeks. And so that's great to see.
So the poll is out, the media poll, well, both polls, the two most recognized polls, and there are several of them. The media poll, SEMO has cracked the top 25. You are now number 24 in the country. UT Martin is number 15, so 2 OVC schools ranked, two former OVC schools are ranked. Austin P is 22, and Eastern Kentucky is number 25. You're not ranked in the coaches poll, which is a travesty, but you are now officially a ranked football program. How big is that for recruiting?
It's big. It's what's big is you end in the top 25. Like, that's the most important thing. But it's all about credibility, right? When you walk in a home, you walk in a school or whatever, and you could say, hey, we're one of the top 25 programs in the country of like-sized schools. And it's also for our university. Like, that is something we all, a high tide rises all boats. Like, that's something we need to be proud of. That's something we need to try to do. And we have a type of football team that we should end in the top 25, And so that's our job to keep meeting the standards that we keep setting every week.
I think you could make an argument. I know you don't look at it like this, but as a member of the media, we always are looking at storylines and things like that. But it would be an upset if you were not favored in every single one of the games that you play the rest of the season. I mean, you're going to be right there, if not favored in every game.
Yeah, I mean, just like I said before, the biggest risk to this football team, I tell them, I've seen the enemy, and it is us. And so don't lose to SEMO, all right? And so we just got to focus and locked in, because I think we will be hard to beat. But we won't if we keep turning over, and we had 3 holding penalties and things like that, and we just give up an 80-yard bomb and drop 8 coverage. Like, that's not what good teams do.
Well, good teams don't beat themselves with penalties, and you did not have a single penalty in the first half of the game. You finished with just 3 penalties. If I could tell you every game you're going to only have 3 penalties, you'd probably take that immediately.
Take it. And, we've worked hard on it because we were so bad at it in this COVID season that we had. And in the past, I kind of was I didn't focus on as much as I probably should have in hindsight, just the fact that I want my players to be playing free and aggressive. Like, I don't want them to be, I don't want to get a penalty. No, I want to eat that. I want you to eat that D lineman's face off. All right, that's what I want you to do. But then you got to kind of, once it starts costing you games, obviously we got to improve it. And we've worked hard on it. Justin Drudick's our official liaison, so he'll come up and he'll teach penalties, and we have quizzes. Hey, is this holding? Is this PI and stuff? So we've made it a bigger emphasis this year, and I think it's paid off. And again, the players have bought into what it takes to be a good program, and they understand that we won't accomplish submission unless we take that off the film.
Friday night, I was broadcasting the Jackson-Cape Central game, and I happened before the game to look down on the field, and I see Tom Matukowicz. You were at the game. Pretty good atmosphere when those two teams play, isn't it?
Absolutely. it doesn't always work out, but most of the time we're in town, and so it's nice that I think that the head football coach at SEMO should be at that game every year. You only get one game. You know, you can only evaluate a team once, and so but as far as football in this area, that's the mecca of high school football when those two teams meet, and it's a two communities coming together to have a good time. The student sections were great. What'd you think of the penalty?
It was a terrible penalty.
Oh my gosh!
I've seen the video, and the Jackson kid just fell down. That's all there is to it. There was no contact. That should have been touchdown.
It obviously wasn't the difference in the game.
No,
I'm certainly not saying
Jackson was going to win that game regardless of if that was a touchdown. But
that was
not a penalty.
That was tough, and you know I'm worried about our game a little bit as far as officials. You know, they're having to play games on Thursdays. They're having to play games on Saturdays, and so man, we gotta get on top of what it takes to make sure these communities and these kids get these Friday nights.
And, you know, a lot of it is fan base related, and, officials just take a lot of verbal abuse from fans. They take verbal abuse from coaches, and, boy, that's where it has to stop. That's where it has to change, right?
Exactly. I mean, I'd say the same thing about political people. All we do is yell and blame political people. Well, who wants to be a politician? Same thing we did with the police. We yell and blame them. Well, who wants to be like, we're our own worst problems. Like, we need to thank these people for their service. And no one's undefeated. Everybody's got problems. But, you know, that's a little scary, you know, when the impact that could have. And, you know, I'm sure the powers to be that are thinking through that and making strategic decisions to make sure that, you know, these football teams got good quality officials.
So one of the big numbers in this football game, Coach, and it's just an amazing performance. They have two good running backs. Darius Hale finished runner-up for the Jerry Rice Award last year. I mean, he was a freshman All-American. He's an all-conference player. And you hold Central Arkansas to 16 rushing yards. No. How proud of you? How proud of your defense were you?
Absolutely. That was one of our keys to victory on defense was limit their run game. And the whole key was to try to get them before they got going because they're really hard to stop once you got full speed into the second level. So
Hale is 225 pounds. Right. He's a big back.
So really challenged our D-line. You know, London could talk about that. But trying to reset the line of scrimmage, you know, a yard back and I think they did that. You know, they don't get a lot of love because they eat up a lot of double teams, and Norman's coming in there and makes a lot of tackles. But that's because he's unblocked because of guys like London, and Coach Williams does a good job with our D-line, man. They're doing a really good job right now.
You know, the great Baltimore Raven defense when they were in their prime with Ray Lewis, and Lewis would always talk about, you know, Noddy and Tony Saragusa, those big linemen, you know, occupying guys so he can run around and make plays, and he gets all of the accolades, and he should. He's a Hall of Fame player, but I've heard Ray Lewis speak about that.
Yeah, for sure, and it's a team sport. And one thing, we have a pretty low ego team. And if we could keep that up, that's a really good place to come from because they don't care who, they just care that we're successful, you know, and that's what makes it fun. This team is fun to coach. Not that we don't have problems and all that, but we don't have. I'm talking a lot of football. I'm not having to talk about academics and showing up on time and all these other things that sometimes you know just spend all my time talking about. Now we can really talk about how can we be a great football team.
How much pride do you take in 9 tackles behind the line of scrimmage? You had 9 tackles for loss in that game.
No, I mean, that's everything. You get them behind the chains, and our third down has gotten better. It couldn't have been worse at the beginning of the year, and each game has gotten a lot better, and we're in better third down situations. We stopped them on a 3rd and short, I think maybe for the first time this year, and a 4th down stop. And so that's been great progress.
And as far as third downs go for you, 8 of 15. The week before, I believe you were 8 for 14, but you were 8 for your first 11, and those third downs came late in the game with backups, a lot of backups in there. You had pulled some starters, so that brought your third down conversion percentage down, but you are converting on third down. How much of that is the quarterback?
Other than when we're handing off, it's a lot of it. But again, and you've done a good job of just talking about our O-line. Like, those guys have done a great job. We gave up one sack, but, giving those guys time and, Paxton just pull it down and take off. It just makes everything hesitant. You got to defend the pass, and, oh, by the way, if they're covered, he can scramble and make a play too. So he's just hard to defend right now.
DC Pippin was wide right. He's 2 weeks in a row. It's wide to the right side, and makeable field goals for him. I mean, we've seen him make 45 and 50-yard field goals. So is that something that in terms of the special teams coach, is that something you look at and say, hey, this may be a mechanical thing here because it's to one side?
Yeah, I mean it is, but I just think that's just growing pains with a young player. I mean, this guy was in a fraternity last year doing keg stands. Like he's just now learning how to be a competitor. He has the talent. So far, he has put in the work, and so they got to fail and then respond and fail, and then eventually, all of a sudden, you can't even remember that, But we're sticking with him. He's got to continue to go because we can't leave points on there, and we got to coach him. But he also has to, take it to the field, and we can't leave points out there. And that's second game in a row we did that.
So we saw London Manuel limp off the field early, and he's in a boot today. What's London's status going forward? Do we know?
We don't know. He's questionable at best for this weekend. They're still waiting on some results back, but that's, again, probably my main concern this week is injuries. Lost a couple more starters, and so –
You did?
Yeah. And so we got to just keep coaching them, and some of these young guys have got to step up and make plays for their team. They're not a freshman anymore. They've been here for 4 games. They were here all June and July, and now we need them to step up and make plays just like the guys that were in front of them.
So you've got Harris Adams, who backs up London Manuel, and he had a tackle for a loss yesterday.
Yeah.
So
and he's had a couple plays. He just hadn't played a lot. And so Michael Jamerson was a guy that's a true freshman also that got in the game, that his snaps will pick up. And, they're quality players, so they just need their opportunity, and they need reps. They need feedback, and it'll definitely help us down the road here as we make this OVC run.
Lawrence Johnson, 10 tackles in the football game, and Ty Leonard finished with 8 tackles. I mean, we expect Lawrence Johnson to be up there, but that's a pretty nice outing by Ty Leonard.
No doubt. And they were able to get the ball to our corners a little bit, and he had a nice day wrapping up. Secondary, I think we could have played better, and we didn't tackle well on the perimeter, and a couple of their backs were hard to tackle, but I think Ty has put on a really good 4 games. I mean, you go from Iowa State to now and you watch his film, he's doing a really nice job.
And you were playing without a starting corner. Tyler Nolome did not play. Do we know his status going forward?
Tyler and Joe Edrick.
Okay.
So, we lost 2 corners. That's why Henry Pickens ended up playing. So that's, both of them have a possibility this weekend.
And it is going to be Lindenwood. We'll talk more about the Lions coming up here in just a few minutes. But one thing that jumps off the page, they were beaten. It was a close game. It was a 1-point game at half at UT Martin, the 15th ranked team in the country. And then Martin just ran over them in the second half. But the thing that jumps out to me with Lindenwood, especially with you got an All-American running back that you don't like to call an All-American, but he is. They gave up 343 rushing yards to UT Martin, and here comes Geno Hess on Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to talk to their defense about that, and I'm sure we're going to get Lindenwood's best. and I'm sure they're a prideful program, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure Gino and our other running backs don't have that kind of day. But certainly looking forward to just starting OVC play. We're 3-1. It's been a good non-con, very tough schedule. We're banged up, we're tired, and all these things, and we've just now started the mission. Like the mission's the OVC. And so this is game one of Mission OVC Championship, and we got to get our bodies and minds back ready to go for another week. And it's a big game. We have a lot of alum from there. We're starting a traveling trophy with them, and so
really,
yeah. So it's called the Game Ball Brawl.
The Game Ball Brawl. Say that 5 times.
I don't know
fast.
in fact, they may be shutting me down here. I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about this, but I guess it's too late now. But so
similar,
the head coach and I
to
talked
the wheel.
Yes, and bringing Division I football to St. Louis is a big deal. We've got 2 Missouri schools in the Valley, and we should be a rival of each other. We're going to recruit against each other. We're going to play against each other, and so we decided to come up with this traveling trophy. And so, this is a big game for us. Like, I'm really, really excited to play this game. My wife's, in fact, listening right now. And so I'm going to stop it there. But let's just say I'm ready to play this game.
Okay. We'd like to get some more information on that, but apparently we won't. London Manuel is from Cordova, Tennessee. Tell us about your recruitment of London Manuel, who is listed at 295 pounds.
Yeah, he's out of Memphis, was a really good high school player. We liked all along, and he ended up choosing us, and it's been as great a player he is. He's even a better human being. He's one of our captains. But, one thing that's plaguing our region is his age group and older staying. This age group, we got to try to get him to stick around in this area, and so that he's the guy I'm going to do everything I can to keep here. I had hired him as my D-line coach, but he's better than that. Like, he could do whatever he wants to do, but this community needs to keep a guy like London Manuel because he's not normal. Like, I'll coach 5,000 of them, and there's only one London. He's like the mayor. I mean, he knows everybody. Everybody likes him. He's just a great kid. Probably my favorite memory of him is we always have the freshmen over to my house in the summer, and I split it up offense and defense. So the offense comes over, and you barely get them in a pool, and they're real laid back and all that stuff. Well, the defense comes over, all right, and we had to take London to the ER. Cut it. They start fighting in the pool, and my daughters got eyes about this big. They're like, "Oh my God, what happened? Were they fighting?" It's like, no, they're just wrestling, and But when 300-pounders start wrestling, sometimes blood comes out. And so they always talk about, was London the guy? Yeah, he was the one we had to go get stitches. And he made it back and didn't miss any food that night. So he don't feel sorry for London. But when he comes up here, I guess he hadn't been on here, but Cape Girardeau and Cape County, like, these are the type of people in our program, and I want him to represent us because he's what makes my job so fun.
Well, we're going to hear from the mayor. London Manuel will join us when we come back. We'll take a timeout. The Red Hawks Coaches Show. We are live at Wings Etc. in Cape on SEMO ESPN. Etc. in Cape, and we'll be back here next week. So make plans if you couldn't make it today. Join us. President Vargas and his lovely wife are here. So the president is in the house today. I think I saw Brady Barkey a little bit earlier, the athletics director. So nice turnout here at Wings, Etc. Hey, did you know that there are over 70 menu items here at Wings, Etc. that are not their award-winning wings? And that includes their brand-new burger lineup. They have the Mushroom and Swiss Diner Burger. That is the newest one to hit the menu. In addition to their burgers, they have wraps, salads, and, of course, the DoorDash option is now available. You just set up a DoorDash account on your smartphone, and you can get Wings, Etc. delivered right where you are. Open 7 days a week and late on the weekends because the games go late. Monday Night Football tonight, and you can watch it right here at Wings, Etc. Let's welcome in Red Hawks nose guard, London Manuel. London, how are you?
Doing great, feeling great.
What was for lunch? What was on the menu for you today?
I packed it up to go, but wings. I'm a wing guy.
Okay, are you bone in or bone out?
Bone in. Got to do the trick. Get it and bite it and pull it all out.
All right. So you've got a method.
Technique. One hand is all it takes. Just sit there and just.
So are you do you like to dip in ranch or blue cheese or anything, or you just go with the sauce?
Ranch.
Okay, so you're a ranch guy.
Yeah.
And what flavor did we get today?
Joe, what flavor did we get today? Hot honey and sweet chili cha-cha. Yeah.
Okay, the cha-cha sauce. All
Yeah.
right, good stuff. Now you're walking around in a boot. How are you feeling? Was it the first play of the game?
First play of the game. One of those old linemen fell right on me, but feeling great. I'll be ready to play. In my mind, always ready to play. So, but
So it's a foot, not an ankle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just
all right.
something in my foot. It'd be all right.
Have you ever had to use a walking boot before?
Yeah, I already had this. They didn't even give me this. I had this from
got
a
you.
previous injury, so I just
So-
I just told them I'll put it on. I already got one at home, so it's all right.
So you're good to go.
Yeah.
And, as a nose guard, you are usually the biggest cat on the line of scrimmage, at least on the defensive side, and it takes a lot of bone-in wings to keep that weight up. You're one of the guys you actually want to keep the weight up.
Yeah, I mean, they say weight has a lot to do with it, but it's really just, the dog inside you, You just got to be tough there because every play you get in contact, every play you probably going to get double teamed. So, I mean, if you don't like football and you don't like to get hit, that's not a spot for you.
So how much pride does that defense take holding that rushing attack to 16 yards on Saturday?
I mean, we harped on it all week. If they could rush on us, we would lose that game. So they got two good backs, had a good quarterback that can scramble and run. So stopping the run was a big emphasis. So, I mean, being able to hold them to 16 yards is, something that you couldn't ask more of the defense. 0 would have been great, but we'll take 16. So,
how much smack talk goes on the line of scrimmage?
I mean, a lot. I don't like to talk smack because, I'm trying to catch my breath. I don't got time to be talking to you. So, but, you hear guys out there chirping at each other all the time. They say something to me, and I was like, oh, dude, look, I'm out of breath. I don't got time to be talking to you.
So how often do you yourself see double teams?
Out of 10 plays, probably 9 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty common in our league, especially us being in Barry and stuff. I mean, it's just part of the game, part of it. But, Coach Williams does a great job. Coach Steckel, does a great job of, teaching us on how to play it, defeating one man, and, when that guy climbs, be there to make the play. So,
and you guys have a little depth along the line of scrimmage. I know when Coach Tuke first got here, maybe the first couple of years, there was literally no depth on the defensive line. But the last few years, you guys are deep.
Yeah, been pretty deep. I mean, since I've been here in 19, the room has always been pretty deep, 12, 11 guys. So, I mean, it's nice to have that depth, things like this, get hurt and stuff like that. You got guys behind you, as a teammate, I trust, for them to go in there and do the same thing that I can do. I really don't look at me being a starter as, I'm the only guy that can get the job done. I trust the guys behind me, just to be as good as I am there.
So if you're busy catching your breath and there's not much smack talk coming out, who's the biggest smack talker for the Red Hawks? Who's the best smack talker for the Red Hawks?
It's a couple, but
Okay, give us a
biggest
couple.
trash talker, it'll go between like Gino and Christian Furman.
All right. Well, Furman, he's starting to come on and make an impact
Yeah.
on that side of the ball. That guy it seems like he has unlimited energy.
Yeah, and that's why I tell him like he can talk. Let me tell you, but he's also a ball player. So it's like one of those things. If he's out there balling, you're gonna hear about it. But he brings the energy. Not just to himself, but to the whole defense. You know what I'm saying? And you need guys like that. No matter what's going on, we could be losing 50-0. Like the Iowa State game, we were losing. He made a tackle. Take that. He gonna give you and let you know that he made a play. You know what I'm saying? So, but no matter what's going on, you need that. To keep that positive energy on the field because you get guys to start to turn on each other and stuff like that. So it's good to see. As a defense as a whole, we stick together. You got your guys that like to talk, but sometimes you be like, hey, we're just trying to get through this series. Calm down a little bit. So don't need no flags and nothing like that. But let them do what they do. If that's how you play the game, go for it.
We kind of thought maybe Gino would be included. We had Gino on last week, and I saw after the game that Gino talked to the team after that big win.
Yeah, from when I met Gino, me and Gino are pretty close. He's really matured and grown up, became a great man, great leader as a captain. A lot of guys look to him. Especially in his position room and younger guys. So, but Gino's just that guy, man. Just like me, you can come up and talk to him, joke with him whenever. Gino's gonna always be ready to laugh with you. But when it comes to playing football, he's good at it. And you just gotta. He has that switch where he can be locked in when we need him to, and he can be the one to uplift the team. But to see him to get in front of the team, be able to talk and uplift everybody, and people listen to him, that's something that you want from him.
So when you were voted a team captain, how did that feel? What was that like?
This is the first year that we've done it. It was like I want to say not like a sign of relief, but like a sign that my team trusts me. You know what I'm saying? Which is, with being the captain, I wanted to be able, to take the fault if we lost. You know what I'm saying? Take the fault if somebody ran for 100+ yards on us. Like, that's my fault. I didn't want people like coming constantly attacking the team. Like, I'm a captain, come attack me. You know what I'm saying? Come attack the coaches, come attack the captains because we are who lead the team. They look up to us. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things. I feel like I could protect my my teammates while I encourage them to be the best player they are. You know what I'm saying? It was the thing of like there's no reason to come attack a freshman that's playing behind me when I'm a 4-year guy here. Come talk to me of why like he can't do his job, because it's on me at the end of the day of why didn't I help him get better. So it was one of those things like I could provide like a sense of protection and leadership to the team, while still being myself. So and I was happy that my team trusted me that I could do the job.
So you're from Cordova, Tennessee. How far is that from Memphis?
Correction. I'm from Memphis.
You're from Memphis, all
my
right.
high school is in Cordova.
Okay, we'll make the change.
Yeah, from my high school, I stay about 30 minutes from my high school. So
Okay.
I took the interstate every day to get to high school. So a little bit of drive for me, but yeah.
So, are you a Volunteer fan? Did you grow up rooting for the Vols?
No.
No.
I had a position coach in high school. He was a defensive captain for Tennessee. And so he took us to a lot of different, Tennessee camps, mega camps, stuff like that. Never was like a fan of it. I probably I've seen more Memphis Tigers games than I have Vols games. So you don't really hear a lot about the Vols in Tennessee and Memphis as much because you have the university there. So
Tigers.
So it's just
Okay.
a thing like that. So kind of grew up more of, watching the Tigers if I did go watch a game rather than driving all the way to go see a game in Knoxville.
So, as far as becoming a Division I football player, you come to college, you have to learn how to be a D1 player because it's totally different than high school. It's totally different than junior college. Who were some guys that you looked up to? Who were some guys that helped you understand what it takes to be a D1 football player?
Well, I mean, for me, I don't think it's as much as learning how to be a D1 football player because at the end of the day, football is the same. It's just get faster. I feel like you have to learn how to mature and become a man and how to realize that everybody that's in college is just as good as you or they wouldn't be here. So you have to learn, like, to humble yourself. I feel like that's the biggest thing that you had to learn coming into college. And I tell freshmen that all the time is that you can't come in thinking like you deserve a spot over guys that's been here 4 and 5 years that's been doing this while you were still in high school. You know what I'm saying? You have to get here. You have to learn. It's different. You're not the guy anymore. You know, you're on the roster, and everybody here got all the accolades and stuff just like you do. And so, I mean, when I came in, we had 6 or 7 guys graduate just in my position alone, and we had 17 seniors that year. So, you know, getting to see guys like, you know, Zach Hall, getting to see Clarence, Day-Day, all these guys that was up in front of me, Avery, Bryson, all these guys that played in front of me and won many games here at SEMO, why would I come in and try to and tell them, like, how to play football? Why would I not just come in a position room and be there and try to learn every day? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. We had a big group of guys that year that led the team, you know, and I feel like that's where we're getting back to, you know. Coaches are there to install everything, but the players need to lead it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we've gotten back to a point where it's player-led and coaches just install what we need to lead. So, but we had, I mean, I don't know, we had, 17 seniors that year, and I mean, every last one of them knew how to lead, you know, and that's something that Coach Duke put an emphasis on is, you know, even before we became captains, we went through a whole leadership class of how do you lead. You can't just get up there and lead people when you don't know how to lead. So it was like, it was guys that was there that you learn from of, I learned what SEMO was, you know, so they installed into me what SEMO was, and it's up to me to keep that tradition going. Because I tell people all the time, this is the same stuff that we've been doing since I got here. Like, it hasn't changed. Like, normally you get to college and everything that you see on your visit, everything these people tell you is not real. But I got here, I got the same Coach Duke, I got the same players, we got the same schemes. Everything has been the same. Nothing has changed, you know, as much. You know, you grow up and you keep telling guys, like, this is what SEMO is about. This is what we believe in. This is how we operate, you know, and you either have to buy in or, you know what I'm saying, we wish them good luck.
And how much pride do you take in being a leader?
I mean, it's not, you know, I take pride in it, but it's more of one of those goes back to, like, I'm glad that my teammates think I can lead them. You know, I'm glad my teammates feel like they can listen to me and learn something. You know, a lot of times you get teams like you put a guy in the leading position, the teams are like, oh, they just because you're a captain, you think you da-da-da-da. It's not that. Like, you can tell a guy, hey, do this, do that. You'll be like, all right, I understand what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? There's no collision there with me being the captain and me just talking to a guy on the team. You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing if I'm the same guy I was before I put that before I became a captain. You know, all it is that you feel like I should be in that spot to lead, but nothing's gonna change with me. You know, even if I wasn't a captain, I would still be the same guy I was. You know, trying to help guys get better, trying to lead when I can. But if I was in the follow role, I know how to follow as well. I did in my first 4 years here. You know, I just didn't overnight become the guy I am. You know, you have to listen, learn, you know, just keep improving it year by year.
Give us a good Coach Duke story.
I don't know if any of those are even rated for radio. I don't know.
Clean it up for us.
Some wild stuff be going on sometimes, let me tell you. I don't know. Probably we did, I think it was a couple years back when we did the punt. You have to catch the punt with the water guns. And big man, you know, he thinks he's from somewhere. He wraps a towel around his head, ties it up, takes his shirt off, and there he goes, Coach Duke on the wall. So just let him do what he do, you know.
Do you guys let him win that, when he runs to the 50-yard line, do you guys let him win?
Well, he hurt himself last year. Was that last year? Last year he hurt himself because he was running so hard. It was like So now, he started hitting the gym. No more injuries. He works out for it. That's his pride and joy. And I mean, he got some speed to him now. He got some speed. You can definitely tell he got some speed there. But it's great. I love to see him run out. Just that's how we keep him young. We let him sprint out there. You just now that I do the flags, I'm like, look, if Coach Two catch me, people gonna know I'm slow, so I gotta get out. I gotta go. So I get about a good 10-yard head start, and as soon as I see him twitch, I'm gone because I know he's coming flying right behind me.
Good stuff. Are you on social media? Can we follow you on social media anymore?
I don't use any of it.
Okay.
Been about 2 years. About 2 years ago, I decided social media is not my thing anymore. So
there you go.
I got all my accounts there, but I haven't used them, signed into them in about 2 years. So just not my thing.
A smart decision. Now we hope this foot gets better very, very quickly, and we see you back on the defensive line for the Redhawks. Because can you sense that this is a special year for SEMO?
Guys tell me, and I don't like to talk about the past, but you look at it, and as a team standpoint, we had some down years in between 19 and to now, and you can tell the difference in between the teams. Guys are just everybody gets along, everybody's connected, and it's not about me, it's not about I, it's about the team. You might have a guy that blow his job assignment or something like that, but nobody's everybody's not coming harping on him, just cussing them out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, next play, it's good. Everybody, hey, players make mistakes. You move on to the next play. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. It's just like every time I walk into that team room, I know it's like, hey, I'll take this group of guys versus anybody in this world. But that's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? We can go play Alabama tomorrow. I'm still gonna ride with these group of guys that we got because I know how hard we work and I know how hard we prep for it. So.
Good stuff, man. It was great to have you on the show. Get healthy and stay healthy, and we'll see you in St. Charles on Saturday.
Yes, sir, you will. Thank you.
All right. That is London Manuel. Coach Took, back to wrap it up here. We talk a little Lindenwood University football when we come back. Redhawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN. Manuel, he was terrific, and hope that foot heals up and he gets back on the field as soon as possible. The next time the Redhawks get on the field will be Saturday, a 1 o'clock kickoff at Lindenwood University in St. Charles. Once again, I had seen their facilities online before, but I wanted to look at them again this morning before we got to the coaches show. And boy, they've got some nice facilities. They really do.
Yeah, they do, and they got a nice campus, and this is going to be a great trip, and look forward to a long-standing rival, and can't wait to coach my team today for practice and get ready to start this OVC game.
And throwing the football has been the forte for Lindenwood, despite their loss to UT Martin. Their quarterback, Cade Brister, coach, 306 yards passing, including a touchdown. They can sling the ball a little bit.
Yeah, he's a sixth-year guy. He's got 74 touchdowns. I mean, he wants to be a coach. So everything you want in a quarterback they have, and we need to be ready for him. So he's certainly got our attention, and winning football games is hard. Winning a Division I football game on the road is really hard. And so we got to make sure we prepare well and go up there and get after it.
And I know we mentioned they gave up 343 rushing yards. to UT Martin. Boy, I bet you'd really love to establish Geno Hess early in that game.
Absolutely. The biggest thing is that they've never played SEMO. All right? And when they get done playing SEMO, I want our team to understand our identity, how hard we play and how physical we play. I want them to know that. I want to make sure that they don't forget when they play SEMO, this is what is going to happen with SEMO. And so it's a great opportunity to put an impression on a new team that you've never played. And
like Jacksonville did to you your first year.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember saying, I don't know if we'll ever beat Jacksonville State. And so, I want to make sure that our team is prepared, and they're very consistent, mature football team. So we're going to have a good week of prep, but I'm excited to play, and I think they will be too. It's going to be a great venue. There'll be a lot of SEMO people there. Great day, quality opponent, good quarterback. Let's go.
I think there is a 6% chance of rain, so it's going to be a dry, sunny afternoon in St. Charles, and it's not supposed to be in the upper 80s like it was Saturday.
Yeah, I think 74 or something like that, so that's great. And we just got to get our bodies back ready to compete, and then the guys that are out, we got to make sure their backups and stuff are prepared and for that opportunity.
All right, it'll be 1 o'clock at Lindenwood on Saturday. Coach, we'll see you then. Thanks so much for your time.
You bet.
That's Coach Tom Matukowicz, head coach of the now 24th ranked Southeast Missouri State Redhawks. Thanks to London Manuel as well. Rachel Cook, Mike Rennick on location here with River Radio. We'll get you back into regular programming on ESPN. Don't forget, it's a 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Redhawks and the Lindenwood Lions. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. So long from Wings Etc.